Hi guys, it's Louis again. As all you know, along with the automotive industry has evolved a lot in recent years, auto lighting industry has reached another level. After car makers closely analyzed the way halogen or HID lights influence their models, turn to another options. LED seems to be the solution for mass-produced cars. However, now you can find hundreds of LED brands from Amazon or eBay selling LED headlights from $10 to $200. As consumers who don't understand the LED technology that much, it will be difficult to identify so many products on the market from a professional perspective. So, today, Novsight gonna tell you what LED headlights that you need the most and if they're worth the price. There are several things that we need to take into account while we're choosing the right LEDs. The first thought we always consider is the brightness and the beam pattern presented by the bulb. And what determines these two factors are LED chips and the structure of cooling system. We'll talk about cooling system later. So the core needs of having a high brightness LED headlight is to secure safety while driving at night. One of the key factors that determines the brightness is the LED chips. There are three main types of light source in the market. COB stands for chip on board, are many manufactured by Chinese suppliers, which also has the lowest cost with medium level of light performance. But the size of COB are too wide. Light will be separate all over the place and not focused enough. And that's why low-end LED products are commonly using COB chips. Okay, next, CSP stands for Chip Scale Package. Has medium cost and medium light performance, but it has the beam pattern close to OEM halogen, which is good if you're considering beam pattern in the first place. However, because the heat dissipation area is small, it is not possible to output too much power. Currently, the main producer is Seoul in South Korea. And finally, we're going to mention SMD, stands for Surface Mounted Device, which is the most expensive and be able to produce the highest lumen output. However, the light source is huge, ends up a really strange looking beam pattern. SHP50 and 70 from Cree and ZES from Philip are using this kind of SMD. Despite from the choice of LED light sources, the design of the heat dissipation structure also impact on the LED brightness. The first kind of design is heatsink. As you can see here, we got two kinds of heatsink LED headlights, fanless with and integrated heat dissipation designs. The pros of fanless design are the heatsink is small in size, easy to install, does not rely on fan cooling, they will be more stable than a cooling fan. However, LED headlights with heatsink can only produce lower energy with relatively lower brightness. Here comes to the fan LEDs. Fan with integrated heat dissipation design. The advantages is that the structure is simple, stable, and the cost is relatively low. The disadvantages is that it cannot withstand the heat of too high power. This kind of design is based on the heat transfer by aluminum. And copper substrate thermal design with fan. The reason of using this design is that copper's thermal conductivity is about 50% stronger than aluminum's thermal conductivity. So that copper material can achieve better heat transfer and dissipation than a heatsink design. And heat pipe thermal design with fan. Simply speaking, the principle of heat pipe dissipation is to use the evaporation and condensation cycles of the liquid to transfer heat. The thermal conductivity is 400 times higher than copper. So these three kinds of heat dissipation structure, combining high-tech heat transfer materials with aluminum or copper, can withstand the task of higher power heat dissipation, so that the output of the LED completely exceeds the HID level and operates safely and smoothly. The disadvantages is that the cost of the materials and production is relatively high. Let's talk about beam pattern. In addition to the different choices from LED chips, the shapes of LED beams are also impact on the beam pattern. One of the main factors is to look into the shape and size of the light source, whether they're close to the filament of halogen bulbs. The more alike, the better beam pattern it will be. Another important factor is that the design of the head structure will also affect the quality of beam pattern. The smaller the distance between these beams from both sides, the better the beam pattern will be. So down to installation. One big issue for aftermarket product is how you install the product. For LED headlights, whether the installation is easy or difficult depends on the size of LED bulbs and the room the housing offers. The smaller LEDs you got, the less installation problem you got. So please double check your housing and make sure you got enough space for the installation. Okay, down to our final part, the price. As we mentioned, the LED chips, the heat dissipation system, and the power output will directly affect the price. We can also easily find out that no matter it is the brightness, the beam pattern, the installation, or the price are affecting and limiting each other. So if you want high brightness, the heat sink or the cooling fans must be bigger. This might cause an installation problem. Or let's say, if you want a great beam pattern, some brightness or power will be sacrificed. But if you want every side of the bulb to be great, the price must be high. That's why we strongly suggest you to choose LED bulbs accordingly by what you need. But if you're a fan of car tuning or you drive a lot in dark road, higher brightness LED bulbs you might pursue. For that, we're gonna suggest you to buy something around $50 to $70, 30 to 40 watts LED bulbs that using copper or heat pipe dissipation device and branded chips. Of course, after you checking your housing. But if you travel a lot on city roads and less driving at nights, then you can choose LED bulbs around $30 to $50. Family CSB or COB LED bulbs. So, this is today's video. Hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. We'll be able to give some professional answers for you. And this is Louis. See you next time.